Welcome to the madness. So, I'm very passionate about wiring and sharing that passion, which means I'm very long winded. And the videos that I started to put together to go over this swap harness got pretty long. So, I can appreciate a upfront answer to questions, especially when it comes to wiring and swaps. So if you're looking for that upfront answer on how to wire this thing, this is the video for you. So the first thing we're going to cover is the alternator wiring, and there's only really two things you need to worry about. And you can see in the diagram that I've got on the screen now. This is for the Explorer, and it shows everything. We don't really care about everything. We only care about the main power from the alternator and the regulator wires. So in the Ranger and in this diagram, you can see that the C120 circuit, that's the same between the Rangers and the Explorers for the V6s and the 4 cylinders. So those have a separate little jumper wire that's internal to the harness that jumps from the regulator to the stator, and I guess that's the S's signal for the alternator to start charging, that it's actually running, so that it understands that it's working. So anyway, that little asterisk with the 4, that says it's only for the 4-liter. So if you look at any of the 5-liter harnesses, you'll notice that it doesn't have this little jumper. There's only 2 wires coming out of the regulator. That just means that signal wire is internal to the alternator. So in theory, it's just a plug and play maneuver here. Assuming that the 2 wire positions on the body connector are in the same place for your model year Ranger, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. In this case, I've got a 99 Explorer harness and a 2000 3.0 Ranger body, and the pins match. So I don't have to change anything. If you're doing this in the pre-98s, you probably have to change something if the body connector is even the same. So the next part of this is the main power wire, and this is up top, black with an orange stripe. And this is real straightforward. You just go right from the alternator right to the landing pad in the stud in the fuse box. Real easy. And if you're savvy, you can just scavenge the 3.0 or the 4-liter one out of your donor truck, out of your host truck, sorry, and just reuse that wire. Then you don't have to worry about cutting up the Explorer alternator wiring harness. All right. Hopefully that helps you a lot. Let's jump to the next part here. So moving on to the starter system. We're going to look at the automatic transmissions layout first, and then we'll go to the manual. It's basically the same thing, just instead of a clutch position switch, there's a range sensor for the automatics. So, in general, before we dive into the diagram here, the starter exciter wire starts in the cab, comes out to the engine harness, and either goes through the range sensor for the automatics or a little jumper in the manuals, and then comes back into the body harness, goes out to the fuse box, into well, not directly to the fuse box, but goes into the area of the fuse box in the engine bay, and then connects to the sub harness for the starter. So that might sound a little confusing, but it's just the way that Ford routed the wires. So we'll start with the automatic diagram here on the top left. We can see our power wires coming out, and that pink circuit 329 hits that C115 connector. That is our body connector, or our engine harness to body connector. So after that, we either go, for the automatic, we go through the range sensor. So if you're in park or neutral, it'll complete the circuit and let you start the vehicle. And then as we follow that path, we go through some other connectors. And then right before the starter motor relay, you see the C115 again. This is where I was talking about just a moment ago. that the wires go into the engine harness and then back into the cab harness. So that tan with a red stripe, circuit 1093, that goes back into the body harness and then to the starter motor exciter circuit. So what does that mean for your swap? That just means that if you're sticking with an automatic, we just need to check the pin positions between the pink circuit 329 C115 and the tan with a red stripe circuit 1093 C115 and make sure that they're in the same positions. If they are, then it's a plug and play scenario. You just plug in that body connector from your engine harness and your starter circuit should function normally. Now, if you're not using that automatic and using the manual, let's jump over to the manual layout. Okay, here is the manual. So we'll start on the top left. You see the clutch pedal position switch. That's the neutral safety switch, essentially. Same thing as the range sensor. You'll see that we go out of that and we hit our C115, circuit 329. And then we go right back to connector C115. And then it changes to circuit 1093, the tan with the red stripe. And that is the little jumper I was talking about earlier. So that then goes back into the body harness and then goes to the starter motor relay through that sub harness. So if you're doing a manual swap and your truck is automatic, that circuit 329 and circuit 1093 need to be combined, need to be connected in the engine harness. And I've got an image here that shows that those two exact wires out of that harness. Don't forget that there's links in the description to the blueprint that I put together of these connectors so that you can find which pins are which. Okay. After you get those two wires jumped, then the starter circuit should function like normal. However, you have to be careful. Because those two were jumped and your truck was automatic, you don't need... Well, there's two scenarios here. One, if the truck is automatic and you're doing a 5-speed conversion, then you won't necessarily have the clutch pedal position switch harness to hook up the clutch pedal position sensor. So if that's the case, when you jump those two wires in the engine harness, you're going to be able to crank that starter at any given moment. So you could be in gear, the truck could be in gear, and you'll be able to hit the starter and it will move, it will take off. So you have to be very careful. The other layout is that your truck was originally manual and you're putting in the V8 with the manual. In that scenario, your truck already has the clutch position sensor. Then you still need to jump those two wires in the engine harness, but you don't have to worry about starting at any given point because your truck has that factory clutch position sensor. So that's it. There's really not much else to worry about with a swap if you're sticking with light gears or similar gears. Outside of the range of 99 to 2000, I don't have a whole lot of information. But that's where I'm going to leave another link to Faxon Auto Literature. They sell OEM manuals. You can also find them on eBay. I would suggest if you have, let's say, a 98 or an 02, you buy the factory wiring book for your year truck and then your Ranger, and then you can use the 99 Explorer harness information in my blueprint and this video to help you figure out if any wires need to be swapped around. And if you need explicit help for the connectors and how to depin them and how to look for those specific wires, check out the long-winded version of my video for the wiring, and I'll go into detail like that. So have fun. Don't be intimidated by this wiring. For this swap, at least it's pretty straightforward, as long as you're sticking, like I said, with similar model years.